Do you ever feel like everyone around you is crushing it in crypto while your portfolio just stalls? Maybe you've seen your friends hit those 10x gains on a bunch of coins. Or maybe you've seen some influencers showing off their Lambos and yachts. But somehow, despite all your hard work, your gains just don't seem to add up. I get it. I've been there myself. But don't worry, because today I'm sharing 5 essential tips that you absolutely need to follow if you want to succeed this cycle. And here's the thing, it's crucial to do them all, because if you miss even one of them, then you could be putting your potential gains at risk. So let's dive into the first tip, which is to stop waiting around for alt season. Look, it's crucial to start making moves before alt season arrives. Why? Well, let's be real. Alt seasons are like the sirens of the crypto world. They're tempting for sure, but chasing them can lead to disappointment or even outright disaster. Here's the deal. An alt season typically lasts around 4 to 6 months. And during that time, altcoins can absolutely crush it, sometimes delivering life-changing gains. But here's the kicker. True alt seasons only happen about once every 4 years, which is a long time to sit around and wait. So instead of waiting for it to arrive, a smarter move would be to focus your energy on Bitcoin. To see why this works, just look at the state of the market today. Bitcoin isn't that far off from its all-time highs, while most altcoins are down like 90% from their recent highs. So Bitcoin has a resilience that you won't find anywhere else. And that's something we need to take advantage of, especially during the tougher parts of a cycle. But here's the thing. Bitcoin isn't just about protecting your portfolio on the downside. It can also deliver serious gains, especially when Bitcoin dominance is rising, like it has been since August of 2022. Back then, Bitcoin was hovering around 20K, and in the past 2 years, it's given investors roughly a 3x return. That's actually quite solid, especially compared to other major assets worldwide. And that's why riding Bitcoin dominance higher could be your best bet rather than waiting for the stars to align for another alt season. Plus, holding Bitcoin when dominance is high sets you up for an incredible opportunity. You can amplify your gains by swing trading it for other coins that'll take off once dominance finally dips. Now, that actually brings us to my second key tip, which is to understand capital rotation. You see, in every market cycle thus far, capital has flowed through distinct phases. Usually it's Bitcoin that pumps first. But when investor confidence hits its peak, people start rotating their profits into smaller altcoins to try to chase even bigger gains. So if you find yourself sitting on a nice stack of BTC, that capital rotation into altcoins is your window of opportunity to make life-changing gains. I mean, just look at the past cycles. In the 2015 to 2017 cycle, altcoins returned an average of 344x compared to Bitcoin's 26x. Then, in the 2019 to 2021 cycle, alts returned 16x versus Bitcoin's 5x. That's a massive difference any way you slice it. And it's a clear signal that when the rotation starts, you don't want to miss your chance to capitalize on it. Now, you're probably wondering how you can time this rotation properly. Because let's be real, if it were easy, everyone would be a millionaire, right? Well, if history is any guide, we can expect for altcoins to start outperforming Bitcoin once dominance hits around 60%. That's usually when dominance begins to drop and alts start to take off. You don't want to be over allocated to Bitcoin at this stage of the cycle when it's starting to trend sideways while altcoins are rocketing. So keep a close eye on Bitcoin dominance and be ready to adjust your strategy when the trend starts to turn. By strategically rotating your capital at just the right time, you can maximize your profits and fully capitalize on this phenomenon. Now, that's a pretty straightforward tip to follow. But one big nuance that we missed is the fact that not all altcoins are created equal. And that leads me to my third tip for success, which is to embrace new narratives in the crypto space. You see, when it comes to choosing alts, it's crucial to be forward thinking. After all, crypto markets are currently dominated by hype and speculation. That's why it's essential to embrace new narratives instead of holding on to old ones. For a great example of this, just look at our last cycle. Metaverse tokens were all the rage. And before that, it was DeFi that stole the spotlight. Those narratives brought life-changing gains for those who bought in early. But what about the older alts? You know, the ones that have been around for a few cycles, like Litecoin or Bitcoin Cash? Well, those only managed to do single-digit multiples, while newer tokens with hotter narratives did 100x or more. So the truth is, older alts tend to underperform with each subsequent cycle. They've had their moment in the spotlight, but they rarely put in new all-time highs as the market evolves. That's why in order to succeed in this cycle, you gotta focus on identifying and embracing the right narratives. Whether it's AI, DePIN, or something else, positioning yourself in these high growth areas can lead to outsized returns. Okay, so narratives are clearly important. We get that. But let's be real here. This is not a raging bull market like 2017 or 2021, where everything just rocketed together. And that's why my fourth key tip is to be more selective and really focus your attention. Otherwise, it's just too easy to get overwhelmed. Just check out CoinGecko. There are over 400 categories and more than 15,000 coins listed. And get this, since April alone, over 1 million new tokens have launched thanks to sites like Pump.fun. So with all those options out there, it's tempting to try and dabble in a little bit of everything, thinking that you're diversifying. But the problem is that trying to keep up with every new token, trend, or sector is an easy way to get lost. And instead, it's better to focus on a few key areas. If you dove deep into just one or two specific narratives, then there's a much better chance that you'll actually understand what you're investing in. And that's super important because volatility in the crypto markets has a way of shaking people out. So if you don't know what you own inside and out, chances are that you'll panic sell when you're at a loss, even if the coin is promising and ends up turning things around. So don't try to be everywhere at once. Pick your battles, know them well, and you'll be in a much better position to ride your bags to the top. Now, even if you follow all these tips that I've shared with you, and you find yourself with a nice portfolio, you could still get wrecked if you don't follow my fifth tip, which is to follow the right people. Let's face it, crypto is full of influencers who are more interested in their own wallets than giving you solid advice. Many of these so-called experts are just paid shillers, hyping up projects because they're getting a cut, and not because they actually believe in it. They often hide their sponsorships or don't even disclose that they're being paid to promote these coins. But even beyond that, you got all these celebrities launching meme coins these days to dump on their loyal fans. Just look at this table to see how those coins are faring now. Most celeb coins are down over 95% in just a few months. So this just goes to show you how following the wrong people can be super dangerous because they could convince you to buy stuff that you otherwise would not buy if you did your own research and didn't get swept up in their FOMO tactics. That's why you gotta check everyone's track record closely. Like if someone's anonymous or just constantly promoting new coins without good reason, then that's a huge red flag. Instead, you should try looking for people who back their opinions with data and analysis, as you'd have a better chance of getting good alpha from them. But I gotta say, I think there may be an even better solution than all of that. And that's actually my sixth bonus tip, which is just to join a great community. You see, instead of following influencers for your alpha, why not join a group of like-minded investors where you can all share alpha with each other? This is actually super clutch, and I didn't know what I was missing out on until I found for myself such a group a couple years ago. That's why if you're not in such a group already, but you see the value in one, then you're in luck because I got one that you can join for free. It's called Retail DAO. And in the Discord, we all share a bunch of amazing alpha with each other and debate or discuss the hottest topics. So if you want to join, just fill out the form in the description. And then once you've done that, you'll be fully armed with a supportive community, plus the 5 essential tips I already gave you. Now, all you gotta do is take action, because I think we're on the verge of another bull run with catalysts like lower interest rates on the horizon. Oh, and when you start implementing these tips and you get to number 3, which is embracing new narratives, then you gotta watch this video where I break down the super hot DePIN sector just for you.